Sorry, I'm just trying to muster myself and rally. Mustered myself. Oh god, now I'm hungry and I want a hot dog so badly. But I'll worry about food later, because right now we got 2 good players in front of us, and that's all I need to maintain sustenance. They say you can go a month without food, a week without water, but you can't go without StarCraft2. Oh god, that intro! Spawning here on the top right corner of the map. This is the finals match of Group C for Copa America Season 3. It is the blue Protoss player, once again, from the Seed Academy, Darkness. Wait, let me do that again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Darkness. His opponent at the bottom right, though, an equally good player. He has actually beaten him once today with a 2-1. We'll see if he can maintain those results or maybe turn it into a 2-0 himself. Playing for Asus, Corsair, Chairs for Gaming, all of these wonderful sponsors. It's going to be the independent red Protoss player, Desrow. Big Dez, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get that going. Make sure you tweet at Desrow. His Twitter is at follow, or no, sorry, his Twitter is at Desrow Fighting. I was gonna say you should follow him, but when you do tweet at him, make sure you call him Big Dez, not Desrow. Anyways, I'm not sure how this first series went. We didn't get to see it. We were casting the other series while this one did go on. My thought process is, though, that this probably did not end in a 3-gate. Is their first game they played, well, again, I don't know the results of it, did end up going on the cusp of, I think, 35 minutes-ish? Something like that. Sorry, wow, like 35-minute PvP. Just made me yawn just thinking about it. No, I'm just kidding. I really love when PvPs get to that point. Truthfully and entirely, like when I watch PvPs, and I don't know if you guys feel the same about this, a lot of times I'm like, oh boy, it's another 3-gate. What a stupid matchup. Why don't you just proxy while you're at it? But when you get those games that open with a bit of cheese, a bit of aggression, and they go to that really late phase, when you get to that stage where it's going to be something like Colossus versus Colossus or Tempest versus Tempest, like those are my favorite PvPs. But I'm also a disgusting individual who loves Swarm Host, so maybe you guys don't share that sentiment with me. But if that was the case, I look forward to the potential of that happening in this series. It is kind of interesting, though, because we've been seeing a lot of Protoss players try and, I guess, go for strategies not involving Colossus. And I'm not just talking players here in Copa America. I'm talking about, like, the players we see in Korea, the players we see in Europe. Because for those who don't know, on Base Rate TV, we cast just about everything. But, yeah, it's interesting to see how many people are trying to force out more, like, Colossus, Zealot, Immortal-related builds and less about the Colossus. But I do feel strongly that if you get to the Colossus, you're going to win the game. I mean, it's just... Even with decent positioning, Colossus just brings so much damage to the party, and the splash is fantastic. You can't underrate any part of that. But one thing Desrow is definitely seeing here, this is big through scouting on that probe, because he sees his opponent chrono boosting like crazy.
Game paused.
Yeah, definitely a bit of lag going on. I'm seeing it too. Do I have all chat? Can I speak? Hang on. Someone is having network issues. Well, can we blame Bombs? Bombs is in the match. Heh. Well, understandable for Desrow to get so absolutely strict on this. This is his tournament life on the line, and it would be a big deal to win a tournament like Copa America. It might not be WCS, it might not be GSL, but it's still a rather large tournament in context of what is available. So with him having a real fighting chance here, obviously demands and wants the perfect conditions in which to fight. Mothership Core pops out. He's going to be going for the Twilight Council. I'm not at all surprised. Desrow, he's just in general a safer player. We don't really see him take the big risks, and sometimes that does cost him games, but Blink is something that can turn into aggression. It's also like the ultimate defensive tool against most of what opens. The only thing this really is weak against is if it is like a DT opener, but it's not the case out of Darkness. And Desrow knows that too. I mean, he saw the Chrono Boost coming down. He knew that there's going to be Stalkers and that Warp Tech out way ahead of his. In the meantime, Robo comes down actually here out of Darkness, so with Immortals potentially on the way, Desrow does have to be careful. His gateway production is kind of, I don't know, limp compared to that of Darkness. I mean, both players are only on 2 gates. We don't exactly see someone go for like a 3-gate all-in or anything quite like that, but it's still a situation where, oh, you've got 1 stalker versus 3. Be very careful. The mothership core is going to wrap around the back side of this to try and snipe off a probe or 2. This is actually something we've seen before in the past, but Desrow might not be expecting just how heavy the stalker count could be, and you can actually lose that mothership core in the process of the recall. But, very intelligently so, baits out the stalkers? No. Okay, just awkward. We'll just call it awkward. Anyways, the mothership core will be able to scout. And the idea is that you recall. Now, Darkness did get that really fast warp tech, but a little bit late to actually turn the gateways into warp gates. Mothership core gets a little bit low, kind of scary to see. But Desrow has opted to, in this scenario, go with a Stargate, and it's in a proxy location. This is... Okay, I just finished talking about how Desrow doesn't take the big risks, but he is, and this is a really big risk. Now, this is probably not going to be for the Oracles we're so used to seeing, but what I imagine to be a possible Void Ray. I mean, Oracle at Phoenix, these are still good units. He can make use of them to complement his Blink Stalkers, but if you really... What do we... Okay, other observers, go away. But one of the things that's going to work out nicely, if this is a Void Ray, he's just going to tear through everything, including that Immortal. But we'll have to see. Desrow doesn't have enough gas banked up for a Void Ray, so possibly just that Oracle opener. I mean, the thing is, it's going to Revelation, it's going to, you know, all the Stalkers are fighting the Stalkers, so he dives in through the mineral line and just kills all the probes. An Oracle would not be a bad alternate choice, but I am curious to see what he plans to do here. Now, he does get the shields removed off that Immortal. He's going to have to really focus on this if he wants to dive for it, but there is an overcharge going, and as we see, has to back up. Realizing that, hey, wait a minute, my opponent really doesn't have that many Stalkers. He's going so Immortal heavy right now. He's not producing anything but Sentry Stalkers, well, Sentries and Immortals, maybe a Zealot or 2. This Oracle ends up being a fantastic choice, but he can't go in blindly with it. He has to bait his opponent to fight here at the Natural, to distract him here at the Natural, and not be able to get back to that main, because Darkness does not have Blink. The Photon Overcharge popped at the Natural. There's nothing to actually stop this. Even if he warps in Stalkers underneath this, it's only 2 against a light unit like an Oracle. So Desrow's either going to use the Oracle to bait out the army, or he'll use the army to bait out the army for the Oracle. Either way, he gets in here with a good couple kills. This is exceptionally funny for me because, of course, for those who didn't see it, Desrow, Winter, and I were playing some team games about a week and a half ago, and Desrow was very much enjoying Oracles, I think it's safe to say. Now, Time Warp goes down in lieu of a Force Field. This is not going to work out well, too. Yeah, he just doesn't have enough. Not enough on the ground, but he's going to keep this constant back and forth up. Draw the attention in the main, attack the Natural, or draw the attention in the Natural and attack the main. It's not going to be fun for Darkness to deal with, especially with a couple Oracles in play. I do kind of almost wish he'd use the Oracle, though, to strip the shields of the Immortals, so he could just focus those down real quick, but blinking back these Stalkers, make sure not to lose too many. He does send the Oracle to where? The right side? Okay. So he'll go for probe kills here at the Natural. Not too bad. Worker count right now still in the favor of Darkness due to the advantage of having that second base up so much sooner than Desrow's, but despite that, he doesn't have a lot of actual mining going on. The Oracle, well, baits out the overcharge, so now the Oracle in the main's going to go in. Now, this doesn't have a lot of juice. It's only got about 3 kills in it. And he's got to make sure he doesn't lose this to the Stalkers, but he focuses on top of the probes. And now with the workers evened up, starts fighting himself back in this game. One thing I'm a little bit shocked we didn't see with all the dead space is the Stalkers actually blinking towards the main at some point. Use the Mothership Core for the high ground or the Oracle for the high ground vision. Focus everything here on the Natural. I'd say, oh, you know what would be so sick at a Desert right now? Warp in 1 sentry, right? Blink everything to the main, wait for the cooldown, then go, so it's off the cooldown, and you can retreat. Draw the entire army of Darkness to the main, force field this ramp, blink to the low ground, and annihilate the Nexus. I think that would be the coolest move and the most efficient move, but Desert's not focused on that right now. He's getting weapon upgrades at home. He's a little bit worried about, like, hey, man, this is going a little too easily. Chasing this Observer out of the base as well. But these Immortals are holding strong. Moving on towards that Colossus deck now is Darkness. What the hell? What was that? Sorry, there's a really loud hissing sound outside. I'm not sure what that was. Kind of startled me a little bit. Anyways, Desrow. Sorry, I got totally distracted by that. I was like in my element too and everything. He's gonna have to deal with Colossus eventually. The other thing too, oh man, a Void Ray would also be a pretty sick investment if you take out enough of these Stalkers, but draws the army to low ground again, is going to blink up here to the high ground by the looks of it. Going to pick up a pylon or 2 for freezies. Probe count still even at the moment. Going to pick up a Forge. This will definitely give him an advantage moving forward in the game, but do keep in mind, Darkness already has that +1, so for now, kind of an even fighting field. Okay, actually recalls everything out of the base. I kind of think he could have fought for a little bit more. There weren't really that many Stalkers there, but Desert once again playing safe than sorry, kind of typical to what we see of him. This probe could probably go home. There's no real need to leave him out here, but probably not what Desro's thinking of right now. Darkness does start setting up a pylon here on the left side of the map, possibly to eventually get some counterattacks in through warp prisms, or sorry, through warp ins, not warp prisms, of course. Desrow's got the Templar Archives coming out too, so he's going to have those Templar out, whether it's feedbacking a Mothership core, or whether it's just getting Archons out. Blink is the advantage he's had this game, but everybody knows Blink is just absolutely horrible in the late game. There's really no room for it, so I mean, he's got to make use of this while he can. It's one of those use it or lose it situations, because you're eventually going to just get rid of your Stalkers. You're going to have none of those in play. It'll be so Immortal heavy, it'll be so Zealot heavy, it'll be so Archon heavy. But I guess one of the big things is he could blink that forward to focus down the Colossus, but not going to quite be the case. Has to be careful. These Immortals certainly have the DPS to chip through these Stalkers. Do keep in mind, Immortals, they've got no projectiles, so you can't blink juke their attacks. You're going to take it at full face value. Meanwhile, Storms are actually coming out. This is kind of a cool move. We haven't seen a lot of Storms in PvP, but one of the big things that we have seen work really well is not necessarily Storms on top of an army, but Storms dropped on top of a mineral line. Once again, that's probably the quickest way to get massive amounts of damage done. Oracle baits out yet another overcharge, but Desrow doesn't have one to go back towards the main. What I do fear is there is that sort of state of the game right now where there's Colossus out. There's going to be the extended thermal lens out. I don't know if Desrow could actually fight this scenario out in a head-on engagement, not with the two Colossus as is. He's going to find out about this Stargate. This was a little bit of a nuisance up to this point, but we'll kill it. Despite the Storms, we don't have any Templar pre-warped in, so no energy for really much of anything. Does have two Templar down here. These will have the energy in a moment. I mean, keep in mind, Storm's only 75, but still. As he heads towards the main, there's not a lot of probes to kill, but he should be able to ravage that mineral line. Oracle trying to find out which base is more vulnerable, more exposed. Gonna kill a couple probes here. It'd be really cool if he actually retreated these to the main. Overcharge comes off once again, so now can comfortably go with that warp prism should he choose to do so. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Starts moving in. The Colossus army is so strong, but it's so out of position. This is gonna be so awkward and weird. Because how do you stop this other than retreating right away? Basically, if Darkness sees this coming, he pulls right now, this is no damage done. But because he didn't pull right away, two Storms go off. He actually loses one of the Templars, sadly. But he gets his 10 probe kills for his troubles. Not too shabby. Meanwhile, level 3 weapon upgrades coming in the favor of Desrow along with charge lots. This is a huge deal. His upgrades, sniping that Forge earlier, this really did set him ahead a little bit. But one of the big things is charge lots are how he's going to connect with this army. If he doesn't have any Colossus of his own, he'll probably warp some Zealots in behind the Colossus while the fight's going on. Because there's no Stalkers invested into the late game, there won't be any anti-air to snipe off that Warp Prism, which could then lead it to deal a ton of damage. But the same thing kind of goes for Darkness. I'm talking a lot about what Desrow's doing, because he's the one being active. He's the one proactively moving out to try and get something done to dictate the pace of the game. Double Colossus production coming up behind this at home, but Darkness played a really solid get to this safe point, get to the Colossus count you want to have, get this third base up and running, but everything he's had, too slow, I feel. The third base should have been something he could have accelerated much earlier. He was a little bit scared of the Stalkers, and rightfully so. I mean, these are still proving to be a bit of an annoyance here in the middle of the map. But Desrow will be able to catch up with this Colossus count. There's only one Robo for Darkness, I think. Yeah, only one Robo for Darkness. So Desrow will be able to catch up and perhaps overtake him. But Colossus had this really stupid soft count where I don't know. You'd have to talk to someone like Hearthstone or Desrow himself to like really know the ins and outs of the matchup. I'm merely a caster, but it really does feel like 6 to 7 seems to be about the soft cap for where Colossus become efficient or not. Beyond that, any supply you invest into like an Archon or Zealots or Storms or, well, anything really tends to be a little bit better. Because Colossus, they're too big. They can't all fight together. There's never going to be that perfect concave. Looks like we did have some drops attempt to go off here at the natural base. No workers killed this time, but he's killed 27 over the course of this game. Oracle still being a nuisance, ducking back here to the main, so it is going to get some worker kills this time. Yeah, 2 go down. Such insane damage. The problem is Storm does exactly enough damage to kill workers fast. It sounds silly to phrase it like that, but like if you put a Storm on top of like, I don't know, Zealots, they don't exactly go down fast. Storm has overkill on it as well, but still the damage you can deal, it's swift, it's instant, bam, unload. Oh, he's waiting for the feedback. Oh, this is so sick out of darkness. He tried to feedback that teleport. That was a really cool move. He didn't get a lot of probe kills for this, so for Desrow, not that crazy, but that was kind of cool out of darkness. I imagine he was spam clicking like FFFF or whatever he has feedback bone to take down that Templar Desrow. That would have been really cool had he been able to land that, but too fast, too furious is Mr. Desrow. Army composition is starting to look pretty fantastic, by the way. Both players head into that really late game. You don't hide this for a sec. Okay, that's just a Templar on the late end there. But yeah, it's 6 Colossus to 6. Stalker count kind of irrelevant as we move into this. The Immortals match each other. The Colossus match each other. The Stalkers, so, But what I'm looking to is, like, Desrow's got this attack potential to fight behind enemy lines. Segments these Zealots up to walk to the natural. Darkness can't actually get to his natural base to defend. He's maxed out on supply. He can't even warp in defensively. So while Desrow takes a fight here in the middle of the map, win or lose, he's actually going to shred everything here at the natural. Takes down a couple of cannons. Zealots will go for the probes afterwards, but he's losing the Colossus right now if he's not careful. The Immortal's dealing a ton of damage though, and looks like Desrow is going to push this back, and Darkness has nothing left to fight with. GG's called at the end, and Desrow will take game number 1 in this best of 3. Sorry for going hyperactive mode with the talk, guys. It's been a while since I've had to do proper solo casting. Normally I have the Grub or someone else with me, but the Grub is in DC celebrating probably what I hope is an after party with Red Bull, and all my other go-tos are actually also either at DC or not available today, so everything's got to shake off that rust. But I hope you enjoyed the cast so far. We do, of course, do Copa America quite frequently here on I'm from Base Straight TV, but we do Copa America quite frequently here on Copa America. But what we need to see and what comes up next is, what's the map? Overgrowth. Okay. Pardon me. Overgrowth will be the final map in this best of 3. It's the finals of the group. Hendrilisk already making it clearly through. We're going to see whether Desrow will join him or Darkness will join him. But this is looking pretty good for Desrow. It was just a small compliment here on the side. I really liked how active Desrow was being. What we saw out of that game was someone like Darkness playing the most absolute standard PvP you could. Responding, defending, deathballing. Whereas Desrow was, finding little things here and there. That proxy Stargate, it didn't look like it did much, but it really did. The damage it dealt through the Oracles was okay, but it was more about drawing the army out of position constantly and relentlessly that worked out really well. So, loved a lot of the stuff that happened in that game. I got a real idea and I'm not getting an invite and I don't want to miss this. C'est la vie. I've been spoiled by other tournaments. But okay, we're in the map, the lobby for Overgrowth. Looks like we're just waiting for Darkness to get in here. Hopefully, won't take him too long. Sorry, trying not to yawn on camera. As I said before, I woke up like maybe an hour before the cast, but that also means I didn't really eat anything either, so my energy levels, my tankers are on low. I need like a Mega Man E tank. How did he win that fight? Desrow's army was too good, and the positioning was fantastic. And if you guys don't know, Immortals deal bonus damage versus Armored, which Colossus are. Sorry, it's the recap there. All right, Darkness says he's ready. We're just waiting on Desrow. Once Desrow is good, we shall also be good. Quite. So curious what you guys are going to be up to later tonight. Maybe we can just read chat out when we get a bit of a slow opening if that ends up being the case, or maybe this lobby takes forever. But there's been so much StarCraft this weekend. I don't know how you guys aren't StarCrafted out. You know, we had Red Bull all weekend. We get Copa America now. And, well, what's today? Today's Sunday, so I got to go for StarCraft tomorrow morning to look forward to. Woo! And then WCS kicks off once again with WCS Europe, so hope you guys are StarCraft fans, because there's still some good stuff coming up. We got some cool plans for October, possibly coming up. All right. Oh. I hate downtime. Overgrowth. Sorry, pardon me. Not that I'm complaining about the downtime. It's just making me sit here go all tired mode. I don't have a co-caster to bounce ideas off of and talk silly things and cringe-worthy jokes about, but here we are getting into Overgrowth. If you just joined us on the cast here, this is the finals for Group C of Copa America. It is the finals. And currently leading the series 1-0, going for a bit of cheese. Oh me, oh my. Top right corner of the map, it's going to be the red Protoss player, Desrow. His opponent at the bottom left, though, will he scout this? Will it be in base? Will it be out of base? Or will it even be at the third? I don't know. We'll find out in a moment, though, because he's going to have to fend off a very aggressive opener. It's going to be Seed Gaming's blue Protoss player, Darkness. Now, this is... I love this move strictly because of exactly how uncharacteristic this is of Desrow. To go for a proxy gate like this is bold, it's aggressive, it's cheesy, and it's not anything you would expect out of this guy, but... The question at hand is going to be, is this going to be the Ducates, or Dugates? I guess I'm getting a bit of French here as I'm talking about Desrow. Is it going to be the 2 gates, or is it going to be the 1 gate, Cybercore, 2nd gate later? There's actually a couple of variations of the way you do that build. The one I just described is only one of like 3, but still, we'll have to see if he goes for the gateways ×2, or if he takes a gas at home by this, because I kind of feel like Zealots are so powerful, they got a chance to just win the game outright. Boom, boom, boom. Not sure what he's going to explode. Dropping knowledge bombs. I'm not sure what that was about. But okay, moving across the map. Darkness is gonna get here in time to scout this nothing at home. We did have the gas come up behind this, so there will be the Cybercore follow-up, as kind of mentioned before. But he's gonna go for the 2 gateways first. So with gas coming out, one of the big things is, of course, he's going to, you know, start off with a little bit of Zelda aggression. Maybe. No, he's just going to go straight to Stalkers. Okay, this works. This can do. Because one of the things for Darkness is he scouts immediately. Wait a minute. There's nothing in your base. Like, mate, what you up to? So this is going to be a bit of a nuisance. Desrow is down by 4 workers, so one of the big things for Darkness is on his defense. He can pull workers as many times as he wants to, but right now, and probably by the time this fight begins, he'll have the advantage of losing up towards 6 before he has to worry about falling behind. But his 2nd gateway, oh man, he puts this down realizing a little bit too late what's going on. There's a pylon on the high ground for Desrow. No, there's not going to be warpins, but it's high ground vision plus supply. So Desrow gets the Zealot out here pretty quick, but his Stalkers are going to be what really gives him the edge in this game, I feel. His opponent should be able to match him on production after the 2nd gateway finishes up, but a lot of this comes down to money, of course. Desrow has 2 Stalkers at a time, and he can afford to get a little bit chrono boosty, I guess we can call it that. As Darkness did burn some chrono boost on getting probes out earlier, now using it all to get his gateways up and ready. Desrow not using his chrono boost, though. He's got 1 going right now, but 80 energy here on the Nexus. There we go, starts popping more off, so this will look a little bit better. But unit counting station right now, 1 and 2 versus 1 and 1. Again, the probes can be pulled to pull a little bit of favor towards Darkness, I guess. Probe gonna go down here for Desrow. Not that big of a deal though. It's not like he's looking to put down more pylons, but he will snipe off the Zealot of his opponent. Zealots are actually really important. It's really delicate where you can actually afford to mix Zealots in, but they soak hits from these Stalkers so much better than Stalkers will ever soak hits from Stalkers. It sounds silly to phrase it like that, but if you've seen enough PvPs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the big things too is, while Desrow does outnumber his opponent's Stalker count, well, actually even up right now, this Zealot's recharging shields out of combat. Snipes off that Stalker though, looking really nice. Now with his Zealot going down, this does give him that advantage. Darkness still with a pretty large probe lead. He's going to have money for days, but Desrow's just poking off one at a time. Now he's got the Stalkers overwhelming 4-2. Darkness is still trying to churn out his own Stalkers, but this hold doesn't get any easier without pulling probes properly into the defense. Stalkers are not actually very good at dealing with the probes. You can't dive through them. As weird as it is to consider, probes bring just enough damage to the fight, but I think the snowball effect has already kicked in. 5 Stalkers to 3, one of them with no health remaining. The probes are starting to die out, but Desrow doesn't even have to waste attacks. Does waste attacks actually there towards the end, but he now leads his opponent in workers. Oh gosh, and he's been sniping off the gas mining ones. This is so unfortunate because, of course, for Darkness, one of the limiting factors has always been gas when it comes to churning out more and more Stalkers. So forcing to get Zealots into the mix actually isn't that bad of an idea. The Zealots will be able to soak the hits charging in the front lines, but there's not enough of them. There's one, and it's not going to cut it. Desrow looking to lock down possibly a 2-0 here in a minute. His opponent down to 4 workers. He can't continue to produce out of 2 gateways for much longer. In fact, he can't continue to produce out of 2 gateways, period, right now. So Desrow's production kicks in. His money wins, and quite frankly, with 3 Stalkers to 2, unless Desrow just move commands or does something really horrible right now, he should be able to lock this game down any moment. 20 probes annihilated, not just killed, but destroyed, devastated. Poor Darkness is about to fall out of Copa America. Oh, last shot in the Stalkers, the last Stalker dying. GG is called. Desrow takes a 2-0 at the end of the night, and will be the second player out of Group C. Woo! Where he will join Henjulisk moving forward into the round of 8.